Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Lady McCreepsta's Night Noise Horror Podcast. Christmas is just round the corner, and I'd like to remind you that my dungeon essentials, or merchandise, as you mortals call it, is available for gift giving, be it to your loved ones, enemies, or just yourself. Go to teespring.com/stores/Lady McCreepsta. Remember though, as a member of my dark family on Patreon, you could get discounts for these dungeon essentials. For more info, go to patreon.com/Lady McCreepsta. Now on with today's tale. This one is from author AlphonBetonDelton and is about both your and my favorite topic. So, I'm sure you'll love this. So come now, my dears, lean in closer and we'll begin. It had been 2 months since I'd written a proper creepypasta, and the last one I'd made had been reamed mercilessly. They say writers have the biggest egos, yet the most fragile self-esteems, so I'll admit I was wounded. I couldn't bring myself to read the thing again, much less revise it, so I moved on. It wasn't anger at the readers, just myself. I'm a published author, nothing bigger than short pieces for small magazines at a pittance, but hey, you start somewhere, and I knew I could do better. But apparently not. I couldn't write anything. Some call it writer's block, but I can usually force myself to sit down and churn out something possible. A friend suggested I switch to pen and paper to get the creative juices flowing. That just gave me cramps. So rather than sit in front of a keyboard in frustration, I spent my free time the way I did in high school, playing TF2 and watching bad anime. I made all kinds of excuses for myself. I felt crappy lately. I'm stressed because I just quit smoking and cut back on alcohol. It's one of our busy seasons at work. They were nonsense reasons, of course. I work at UPS and the only true hectic time of year is December. There was this writing forum I used to frequent, and desperate for advice, I made a thread for the first time in 11 months. It immediately got a page view, but no replies. I went to work. 2 days later, still no responses. Still no more than 1 page view. Not even a year, and everyone had forgotten about me, despite 3,000 posts and half a dozen crit partners. Enraged, I booted up TF2 and spent all week trolling. Gunslinger engineer who runs around with a Thompson spamming medics. Photolog extinguisher pyro. Oh yeah, it got weird a few times though. I swear I saw a burning soldier become a charred skeleton. Another time, a scout ran into a wall and went splat before disappearing. It wasn't that disconcerting though. It's a pretty violent game, so whatever. My experience wasn't about video games anyway. Still, the glitches, or whatever they were, got the juices flowing. I'd never written a gaming creepypasta before, probably because I'm not really a gamer, but they were pretty popular and I was fairly sure there was a YouTube channel dedicated to them. So I gave it a shot. I tried TF2 and Mass Effect, pretty much the only games I ever had an emotional connection to. The only things I could think of were unoriginal and super crap that sounded like bad mods. I didn't even save any of my attempts. Newly frustrated, I decided to delete my account on the writing website. Before I finalized the deletion, I checked my thread. Still just 1 view. That did it. Right before I clicked, "Are you sure you want to delete your account? Confirm," I noticed a private message. What if I hadn't read it? No use thinking about it. It was from a user I didn't recognize. The Helper. Smiley face. I didn't know they allowed non-alphabetic characters in usernames, but maybe they'd changed the rules. The message was simple enough. "Any luck with your creepypastas lately?" It was a little odd that he didn't post on the thread, but it was friendly enough. Nah, No inspiration as of yet, thanks. It seemed rude to delete my profile mid-communication. I'd let the helper smiley face respond again before deletion. I felt weird playing Team Fortress, so I watched some old shonen on Hulu. Scary animes, too, hopefully to give me a light bulb moment. Everything in the shows were just a little bit off. Nothing notable, but the storylines and character designs weren't quite how I remembered them. I ignored it and fell asleep thinking about old horror movies and books. At about 3 a.m., I awoke with a start. Something was scratching on my window. I jumped away from the sound and stood up on my mattress. A few yards from the window, I noticed eyes staring at me. My heart nearly jumped from my chest, and I almost broke the glass, throwing an alarm clock at the eyes. But they were gone. I told myself the eyes were my own, reflected in the window. It turned out the scratching was just a tree branch. It had happened before on windy nights. Time to trim them. Since I was too freaked to go outside, it could wait till the morning. I doubted that I could get back to sleep, so I turned on the computer. One of my writing strategies is to keep brainstorm files in Notepad, and I opened that up. Surely experiencing real fear was a plus. I started plotting out a story about a monster scratching on someone's window each night, but foresaw what it was turning into, and I'd promised myself I'd never do another rake pasta. Next, I invented a new creature, some sort of tree monster. It was stupid, like something out of a 70s B flick. Besides, what's a tree going to do? Chase you? I surfed aimlessly for a bit, hoping to get tired, and stumbled upon the forum. The helper smiley face had replied. How about now? Anything? I froze, wondering if he knew about the tree and the eyes. And I laughed. What a stupid thought, right? He's just an annoying yet well-intentioned guy on the internet. I gave a curt response. No, hoping he would stop pestering me. A few seconds after I pressed send, there was a noise in the kitchen. I hoped it was just a pot falling over, but since I live in a 4-room house, bathroom, living room, bedroom, kitchen, I can hear everything clearly. Someone was definitely inside. I don't really believe in guns, but in that instant, I wished I was less liberal. Or at the very least, had invested in a taser. I managed to find a metal curtain rod under my bed and forced myself to investigate. Hey, I said as I opened the door. Get out now and I won't call the cops. I took a few shaky steps through the hallway, club raised. The shuffling stopped. Was he hiding? Had he left? I wouldn't be able to rest until I knew. Rah! With a yell, I charged into the kitchen. A yellow tabby cat responded with a snarl and jumped out of an open window. I breathed a sigh of relief. Though I didn't remember leaving anything open, I'd seen that cat around the neighborhood. I'd have to talk with its owners. I closed the window and brought a glass of water back to my room. The helper, smiley face, had sent another email. Oh, he's on. Maybe I can make him get the hint, I naively thought. But it was like an ice-cold egg ran down my spine when I opened it. Did that do anything for you? I turned off my computer immediately and rubbed my arms with my hands to warm myself. I stayed like that, sitting straight up, rubbing my arms until I accidentally fell asleep. In the light of day, I decided I was being silly, but still deleted my account. I had 6 unread PMs, but ignored them. It felt good to be free of the helper smiley face and that useless writing forum. I went to work feeling refreshed. Work itself was anything but refreshing. My job is to unload trailers full of boxes. The 5th box that night started vibrating. This happens sometimes. You're supposed to put it on a cart and have hazmat take a look. 99% of the time it's a toy. children's or sex, whichever, so it didn't bother me. But when 2 packages in an hour vibrated, I thought it strange. When it became every 10th package, and it felt like something trapped inside was pounding on the edges, and when I faintly heard screaming to be let out, I panicked. I jumped out of my trailer, grabbing the attention of my boss. She spotted my hazmat cart, ludicrously full, opened one to find a bunch of books, and got an expression like she didn't know to be angry or concerned. She asked if I was feeling well and told me to go home. I left. The UPS parking lots are massive and empty, and it was dark out, but I enjoy the 5-minute walk to my car, breathing the chill air. But halfway to my Stratus, I got a text. I didn't know the number and dreaded reading it. I found what I expected. "How's your inspiration doing? Any ideas?" I sprinted the whole way to my car, not slowing down long enough to glance over my shoulder. As I started up my car, I took a moment to catch my breath. Then, the car directly across from me started up too. Its headlights blinded me for a moment, and the car headed for me. I managed to pull out a moment before it rammed me, and I peeled onto the road. It followed. The car wasn't trying to hit me anymore, just mirror me. If I sped up, it sped. If I slowed, it slowed. Still, I tried my best to lose it, even running a few red lights and stop signs. No dice. 911 was on speed dial, and the operator answered within a few seconds. 911, what is the nature of your emergency? There's someone following me. How are they following you, sir? In a car. I'm in a car too. Can you identify the vehicle, sir? It's a... I checked my rearview mirror, but the pursuant had vanished. Okay, well, it's gone now, but it was definitely following me. Are you sure it just wasn't taking the same route? How long was it following you, sir? A long time. It wasn't a coincidence. Okay, sir, I need you to calm down. If you spot the vehicle again, try to get the plates. If it continues to follow you, call again. Good night. Drive safe. Wait! The operator was silent, but I didn't hear the click that ends the call. I figured she'd waited. All right, listen, Do you have any ideas yet? Said a voice that sounded like multiple people talking at once. Huh? No, stop it. You're not helping me, okay? Please stop this. I hung up and pulled into my driveway. Running inside, I hatched a plan. I would turn on my computer, go back to the forum, and find out who the helper smiley face was. At the very least, I believed, the helper smiley face didn't want to hurt me. Whatever bizarre logic this person or not person had, my well-being wasn't in danger. As I ran through the kitchen, a cord tripped me up. I'd never tripped on a cord before and wasn't even sure what it was too, but screw it. I'm fairly clumsy and trip sometimes, whatever. As I stood ready to take off again, a gloved hand yanked me up and covered my mouth. I jumped backwards and bumped into them, tried jumping forwards but couldn't. I went into full-on panic mode. Basic instinct. Fight or flight, you know? But this person, if it was a person, I couldn't even count how many fingers they had, was inhumanly strong. As in, I couldn't even get it to lean back an inch if I pushed with all my weight. And I'm in pretty good shape. Lifting 600 packages an hour that can weigh up to 80 pounds each isn't for weaklings. I tried spinning my head to see it, but it had my head too tight. Biting, punching, kicking, all of it was equally useless. And if I was panicking before, I was really panicking after I saw the knife. The second hand, also gloved, pointed the knife at my chest but hovered indecisively for a few seconds. Somehow, I knew it wasn't shaky. It was just trying to determine the best place to plunge the 5-inch blade. Finally, it went in. I've never felt so much pain, and I've also never seen as much blood. Then everything went black. That was nearly 2 weeks ago. I woke up in a hospital and I've had to stay there since. Good thing UPS has good benefits. I spent what little energy I had writing my experience down. May as well get a good story out of it. Writing this took a lot longer than it should have, mostly because painkillers cloud my thinking and lower my energy, but panic attacks from recalling everything haven't helped either. The doctors say I'm lucky the intruder didn't kill me. That if he had stabbed just an inch higher or an inch lower, I'd be dead. I guess I was half right when I figured the helper smiley face didn't want to hurt me. At the very least, it didn't want to murder me. I guess that's something. And they're discharging me tomorrow, so that's something else. But there was one thing I had to do before I left. I checked my email. As expected, there was an unread electronic mail from the helper smiley face that simply read, "Written anything yet?" I didn't freak out, but calmly replied, "Yes, I got a good one. Thanks, I guess. So we're done here now. Bye." I let out a massive sigh and got out of bed, intending to go outside for a smoke. Yeah, I picked it up again. Sue me. But before I left the room, I saw another email. It was sent back before anyone could even have read my message, much less reply it. Despite the possibilities, or impossibilities, I clicked open with a trembling hand. How did you find that tale, my dears? Let me know on social media. I'm Lady McCreepster on both Facebook and Twitter. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment below. If you're new to my realm, feel free to take a look around. Be sure to subscribe before you leave, and if you're watching on YouTube, hit that bell icon too. That's all I have for you this evening, my dears. Till next time, sweet dreams.